All right, guys, welcome back to the Free Life Agents podcast. I have a very special guest today joining us all the way from across the Pacific Ocean on the other side of the world, from India, and he is a really good example of a great real estate agent and a great businessman, no matter where you are in the world. And I'm super excited to have him share some of his experiences with you in real estate in his market, and as well as some of the things that he is going to be doing a little bit differently when it comes to differentiating himself in his market. But without further ado, guys, welcome to the show, Balaji. Balaji, welcome. It's really great to have you here.
Thank you, Kobe. It's really exciting to be a part of this show, and I really thank you for your time. And I think it'll be worthwhile for whomever is listening or watching this. Thanks again.
Yeah, no problem at all. Thank you for your time as well. I know you're super busy being the owner of your own real estate company. And I think that's a really good place to start, is kind of giving us, those who don't know you, you have a big presence on YouTube, and we're going to get to that a little bit later. But for those who don't know you, can you give us just a little bit of a background on who you are, how you got started in real estate, and how you got to running your own real estate company with one of the biggest brands in the world right now in India?
Sure. So I've been always a sales professional throughout. It's been about nearly about 2 decades of my career in sales. So I have started selling from the pumps, the water pumps, which you use it in your domestic to pump your water from the ground zero to your overhead tank. So I was selling those kinds of pumps, and then I shifted my career to the LED projectors, which you project your on a big screen, right? So I was selling to institutional buyers, and then came the era of electronics, where I kept selling the printronics, the printers, the laser printers, the inkjet printers, and all those stuff. Then came the insurance boom, and I joined a major insurance private player, and started selling life insurance products there. That's how I was introduced to the agency sales, and how a freelancer sells and utilizes the time, and things like that. So I used to recruit agents, and then try insurance products to them, and then I shifted my career to general insurance, and all this. It's been about 12-15 years of corporate, roughly about 12 years of corporate life in all these segments. And then I thought that it's too much in the corporate life, and a lot of politics and things like that. So of course, everywhere it is. So I tried real estate, because real estate back in my city. I come from Bengaluru, the IT capital of India, and who doesn't know Bangalore? So Bangalore is kind of a IT powerhouse in the world, next to Silicon Valley, you can say, and a lot of influx of people from all over the state. India is a very large country, so you have the North India, the western, the eastern, and the southern part of India. So, people started coming in from all across the state, and getting job placements in Bangalore. And then the IT outsourcing was happening on a full scale. And that's when I thought real estate is going to be next big thing in this city. And a lot of people started approaching me for my advice, even though I was not in the real estate. But since I was also one of the migrant guys, you might say, that from down south. I had migrated to Bangalore for the job purpose, and then I got settled here. So a lot of people started asking me, how is the city? Where do I make my home, and things like that. So then I realized that so people are seeking professional advice, and real estate back in this city, even today, it's a really unorganized sector. And people really wanted to work with professionals, and there were not much professionals back those days. And even today, it's lacking professionals in this segment. So then I started doing part-time real estate when I was working, and then 6 months my wife was spearheading, and she did the front end stuff, and I did most of the back end stuff. And I thought, yes, this is something which I think we can structure, and we can give a good service and experience to the clients, both the sellers and buyers. And then I got some confidence and got into real estate, and was been an independent agent for quite some time, about 3-4 years from there. did some fabulous business, but my hunger for growth was there. And as an independent standalone realtor, your growth is limited to your time, right? So how much time you can put in, and there's hardly 12, 14 hours of work time which you can put, if at all, if it is for any other business like IT or any other business which involves you to be behind the computer, you can say that, yeah, I can put about 16, 18 hours a day. But in real estate, it's a people business. As long as you can meet people in a day and shake hands with them, that's what the business happens. And as a standalone realtor, your growth is limited to the number of people you meet in a day and the number of time, the work hours you put there. So that's when I realized that you have to start looking at big volumes, big numbers, and develop a broker office network, and get more partners to your sales and things like that. Hence, I zeroed in on Coldwell Banker, the world's largest real estate firm, and luckily they were there in India just before 7 years, and I was one of the few signees for them for a unit franchisee here, and touchwood, we are doing extremely well with whatever objective we had in mind.
Yeah, well, that's wonderful, Balaji. It sounds like you have a lot of experience, and what you said about having having a business where you're not just only trading your time, but you're also leveraging, you're leveraging other partners and you're leveraging a brand as well is really important. And we're going to get to that in a little bit as well, in your decision to kind of going with a national or international brand. But you mentioned something really interesting as well, and it's kind of something that we talked about a little bit before, and that's the market conditions in India for real estate. You mentioned that there were not even a lot of professionals today, and you can clearly tell from the way you speak and from the way you do business that you are one of the few professionals, if there are professionals out there. So like, can you just kind of shed some light for people who might not understand what's going on in the real estate market over in India, and what you guys are doing to be a lot different than they are?
Sure. So any developing country and a developing city, right, it has its own problem when it comes to delivering services, especially sectors like real estate, where people don't know exactly what the laws are, the local laws or the zoning regulations and things like that. So sometimes I know in a city like Bangalore, where you have the influx of people coming in all over the state and the country, and even for that matter, some of the non-resident Indians are coming back to the city to set up there or continue with their family life here. So there are so many gray areas where one has to really understand, and then somewhere the agents and the attorneys and the auditors play a crucial role in terms of forming all this and educating the people, and then guiding through them, and then closing a deal or something. So this is something which is really time consuming, and it is something which an agent has to put in humongous hours of time in terms of learning all this, practicing all this, and then also delivering successfully to clients all this. I don't think so many of the agents do this here. Not only here in any developing country or any developing city, this is the issue where we are plagued with a lot of fly-by-night operators and a lot of part-timers who are in the industry, who just wanted to make a quick buck. And I can say that, on a given first opportunity, they'll sacrifice you for their interest. I'm not painting the industry with the same brush. I'm not painting all agents, standalone agents, or any brokering agency with the same paintbrush. But you talk to any sellers, buyers today, they are very wary about talking to an agent unless it is through a big source, a big brand, or a foolproof trusted source. So these are all the things which shows that the industry is at lacking with professionalism, and it is not that the industry needs to put the interest of the consumers first ahead of themselves, which is not the case even today. Although the government has been proactive in terms of getting the RERA, which is Real Estate Regulatory Authority, forming a agency, and which trying to protect the interest of the consumers. But there are very little when it comes to protecting one's interest on the resales, the pre-owned properties. In this market, still a gray area. So what we do is we tend to educate people through various channels. So you cannot reach out to huge amount of people and cover everything by meeting in person. So we have a novel approach, like, we have a robust website, we have all the information put across in the blog formats. We send out email newsletters to all our base, and we also print magazines on a monthly basis on the trending topics and the trending changing laws and things like that. I do a lot of YouTube videos. It's been published about close to about 200 plus videos, and last year alone we have done close to about 70 plus videos educating why, what, when, and things like that. So I think these are all the small, simple steps which we take to protect the consumer's interest in this segment, and hence we are very, very different from others, because a standalone agent might not have the scale to do all this. Probably, which we have done it with the help of a team, which we have put across a team, and then we have partners, and so we have a scale. We are able to do it, and we have done it, and this shows that the kind of validation, due diligence, and the education which we put across to our clients ensures that there is going to be a great transaction. When it comes to transaction, there is a great traction, and it's very smooth.
Yeah, and I can really tell, especially from your your YouTube presence as well. And maybe you can kind of tell us a little bit more about your idea for going to video marketing and why you decided that video marketing was the best way for you guys to go.
Yeah, sure. So as I'm part of the brand Coldwell Banker, so every year I used to visit US for a convention. I've been fortunate to attend a couple of conventions like this past just before COVID, because last 2 years there's been no much travel. So 2017 was my first visit to US, Vegas, where it happened, and I was I was really blown away by the workshops, the breakaway sessions, and the network with the global agents, and the best practices. I met some exciting, I was introduced to some exciting people from places like Beverly Hills, Colorado, New Jersey, Florida, all these places, like, even from Canada, Dubai, and really a complete diverse background, and the kind of products which they sell back, like homes, plazas, and so many other stuff, which what are the best practices, what are the best available opportunities, how do we present yourself, what are the ways to do it. So these are all the things which I think I was introduced during the 2017. This is something which is world class, which as I said, Kobe, real estate is a very, very unorganized here, and it's you talk about training, there's no such training here for real estate in India. So then suddenly you got exposed to a world-class training like the Coldwell Bankers Convention. They call it as Gen Blue Convention. It was mind-boggling. So just to give a simple sample of what I have learned, there was even a workshop of how to shoot using your iPhone or a mobile phone, right? So there was a couple of hours of session only on that. So your complete perspective of shooting a property or putting yourself on a tripod and talking in front of the camera, complete perception changed. And from there, I started, taking some cues from there and started implementing, did some experiments. And then, that's how I think we are not mastered it yet, but okay, we are doing something, back here, which whatever learnings I've got. So 2017 is the workshops, which whatever I learned, I've tried to come and implement, and whatever. And the next, I think 2019, I again came back to Vegas. Again, there was a convention. This time it was all companies all across the companies of Realty, and all these massive turnout of about 6,000 people came all across the globe, again from different companies now, not only from Coldwell Banker, from various other companies, which which are part of Realty. And I think this is where the follow-on learnings happen. And especially I follow people like Christoph Chu, who started doing videos in a very, very early stage with just, he used to say that, I didn't even know what is a video camera. So I had to go to my local video shop and purchase a camera which had the flip screen, right? So where you see, you just flip it and put it across, and So that's how, he started doing it, and started following with all his social media page and things like, just copycat. So nothing else, nothing, whatever these top agents used to do, just copycat and just implement back to what is culturally fit in my market.
Yeah, I think you're really humble because for those that don't know, your YouTube channel has close to 8,000 subscribers, which is, it's a substantial goal that not a lot of people can hit. So I mean, first of all, congratulations on that. And
Thank you.
I think it's really cool that you guys are doing that as a way to separate yourself in the market. Like you said, you guys have a different professional standard. And with that, I think what a lot of it and a lot of what video does is trust. I mean, is that something that you've seen? Have you seen people who've, either talked to you as an agent before and then they've seen your videos and then they decided to use you as their agent, or, somebody who's come across your videos online and because of that, decided to, work with you guys in order for their real estate transactions in India?
Absolutely. So, as I said, this is a developing city and it's kind of exploding. Real estate is exploding. And having said that, there are huge amount of people who have also left the city for various reasons, especially to US, Canada, and all these areas, and maybe probably to different other states as well. So what has happened is all these people need some kind of a connection. So they need what is happening back in their hometown. What is happening? How do I stay in touch? Either to subscribe for a newsletter or to follow a certain blog, and to go through a video and things like that. So there was not much enough contents was delivered from the city back to such audiences, and people who wanted to buy and sell, and they're on the fence and they don't decided yet, but they just wanted to follow the industry, how it's going and what's happening, and these are all the audiences. And I was like, doing everything myself. uh, as I told you, 2017, I attended these workshops and I wanted to do something, and I came back and started doing. And I only used to write the blogs, and I used to convert those into the videos, put my mobile phone on the tripod. And I was struggling with all the audio issues, and I used to really get frustrated when started doing editings and all. So this is how I started doing. So what I first understand, what is the actual search intent? So what people are really expecting. So what are the FAQs? What they want to get an answer for. So this is something, very very simple topics like uh, what are things to look for before even buying an apartment, right? So these are all the simple topics which I came up with. And yeah, so to answer your question, yes, people wanted to hear you, they wanted to know you, they wanted to see you, how you look like before even talking to you on the phone. So a video will help, and especially a video published on YouTube is going to definitely help, because the shelf life is more on YouTube than the other social media like Facebook or Instagram, because it's going to be buried under so many thousands of other shorts or reels or other videos. But YouTube is searchable, right? So this is where people search, what to do. I have a property to sell. What are the things to understand? So fortunately, YouTube suggests my video, or my video based on the SEO, it gets clicked, and people know who I am, and then they start directly writing emails to me or calling me. And believe me, every day I get a call from all these people, and sometimes it's annoying also, because very small issues also they call you. But that's the cost of you going public, right? So there's no regret for it.
Yeah, I mean that's how I found you, is on your YouTube videos. So I mean, you're definitely doing something right. That I'm finding you over different country, looking for looking for different real estate experts in India. So it's really good on you for taking it and being I would say an early adopter of that. And when it comes to YouTube, you mentioned something interesting, and it's interesting to me because I'm also into SEO. I write a blog as well, so I'm familiar with how SEO works. So I mean, I'm kind of curious, like, how long did it kind of take you to figure out SEO, or what was kind of your idea when it came to search engine optimization, and how are you doing it when it comes to pairing your blog and the same content with your video content as well?
Sure. So it all happened thanks to COVID, because we were locked down inside our own home for about a couple of months. This was in the first wave between I think between March and of 2020 to April end. So there was so many stuff I was experimenting with, because you're only limited to your laptop and your video cameras. So I was doing videos. I was doing, I was looking at my own website, what and all I can do. I started following several, personalities in this segment. To name a few, like Neil Patel, Eric Su. So these guys are, kind of masters in SEO when it comes to SEO. So then I introspected my website. Is it in line with the global standards? Is it something which is really user friendly, and people are they able to find me? So I only tried to find my website. I couldn't able to find. So I thought, this is something which is which we need to work on. So at that time, I didn't have any support staff or anybody. So I had to learn everything SEO. I really didn't know what SEO meant. So then I had to learn a complete. I had to learn everything from scratch and watch hundreds of hours of videos on SEOs, and then started working with my developer, the website developer, to completely revamp the website on SEO friendly, and then collect across a team, quickly recruit resources. I recruited a content manager, because I realized that, as I said earlier, it's really frustrating when you're doing everything yourself, right? So sales and marketing are two different stuff. So you do yourself the content, you talk yourself from the camera, you edit and you publish, and you follow on. It's totally frustrating. Initially, it's okay. You need to learn all this stuff, but when you have to scale up, this certainly will not help you. Your core job is to sell, go out and sell. So then I started putting across a team, and started recruiting content manager, a content writer, then an SEO specialist, and then a media specialist who does all my videos. Today, all the videos which you see on YouTube is done by this guy who shoots the video, edits them, puts graphics on it, and then publishes it. So this thanks to COVID. So this is where we were able to put across the resource. And then I was the guy who used to understand what is the search volumes for specific market like us, and what are people are looking for, and how do we incorporate those things into the website? What are the content requirements and things like that? Blah 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 blah. Create a complete master file for the keywords, and then just keep following it, keep putting it across. And this is where we are today, and we are able to satisfy the searchers in terms of what exactly they wanted. We are able to deliver through our website. And to answer your question, when I started this in the month of April 2020, I had hardly about 500, 600 visitors a month. Today, I just presented to my team a couple of days before. So I think we are hitting close to about 15,000 visitors a month. So this is about roughly about, you can say, about 1.5 years. So all the hard work is paying off. And today we are getting tons of inquiries, which we are unable to answer. And it's very sad for us to say that, no to so many of them.
Yeah, and it's a good problem to have, right? When your website is so popular on search engines now that it's hard to even keep up with them. So, but yeah, I mean, I think it's really cool that you're doing that. So when it comes to, when you're telling us that you have a content manager for YouTube as well. So does that mean like, and this is completely like, everybody has a different workflow, but does that mean they come up with all the ideas, or are you the person coming up with the ideas and they're the ones who are planning it, and then you do the videos?
Okay, so it all starts with the content writer. So what task which we need to give to a content starts with, are we going to match the searcher's intent, right? So it all boils down to the search intent. So are we having enough volume for the particular topic which we are going to, because earlier I had done videos which has not got enough views, but the topic was excellent. But I figured out that there are no demand for such topics. So that means, it's absolutely waste of time doing. Okay, it might enthuse a couple of people, but so your time should not be wasted on, only for those two people. So it should be for a sizable amount of people. So that doesn't mean that it's a 1 million view or 2 million view. So we are not in an entertainment industry. So we are in an industry where those who are really genuinely concerned about buying, selling, leasing, or allied segments, only those people are going to glued to your videos and wanted to subscribe to your channel. So having said that, the base of any of our resource planning is search intent. So are we going to meet are we going to meet and satisfy the search intent, and are we having enough volume? So what we do is we sit across as a team once in a quarter, 3 months ahead. We plan all the keywords. Let it be, because YouTube and Google has two different set of volume, right? Traffic, right? So it's not going to, what traffic you're going to get the Google in Google's, you're not going to get the same volume in YouTube. It's going to be totally different. So we will plan that in advance, and we will, put across certain keywords into topical authority keywords, and have branch out different topics from that particular master keyword. And then that's how we keep enhancing and improvising on certain topics. So once the topics are formed, then the content writer starts writing the content, and then of course those contents will be repurposed back into a podcast as an audio file, and if it is a video worthy, we will do a video, and then it of course goes into a blog. And sometimes certain contents we use only as a guest post, and certain contents for PR related stuff and things like that.
Yeah, and that's really interesting that you mentioned that, because a lot of people who are doing content, a lot of agents who are doing content are not able to get found because they're very good at, like you said, they have exceptional topics, but there's no search intent for it, and there's no search intent for it. You can't get found, and you're wasting your time, putting that content out there because it's not a value. Nobody's actually looking for it. So that brings us to like an interesting question I had, and something we kind of talked about earlier as well is, who is your biggest customer base? Because, as we all know, India is a big market. It's a market on the up. It's going up. So who is your niche customer base when it comes to real estate transactions in India?
So Kobe, so I'm always a seller's agent. So that doesn't mean that I will not work with buyers. So back in my city, back in India, there's no regulation that you have to work with only one set of clients, like either be a buyer's agent or a seller's agent. It's not like that. You can work with both the type of clients. But I have been specifically working with sellers ever since we have signed up with this brand. It's been about 7 years, and it's really paying off really well, because the kind of market which I'm into is like the premium and luxury segment. So anything in the prime spots of the city, I'm the guy. So I can take up anything, right? A structure which needs to be knocked out and rebuilt, or open lot, or an apartment, or anything which is in the prime spot. I'm the man. And if it's not on the prime, I only undertake luxury properties, sweeping views, an apartment or a condo which has a sweeping views, or a uniquely designed independent bungalow, or a multiple residential dwelling, something like that. Yeah. So having said that, so who are all the sellers in this market? So the sellers are predominantly people who upgraded themselves, or the second thing is they want to downsize. So why they want to downsize? They have been in this property for about 30, 40 years, and the children have grown up. Either they're not staying with their family, their parents, or they're moved abroad, and they're just looking to downsize the independent properties and move to a gated society or a condo or things like that. So this is my major clientele. I would say this is the target segment which I'm at. So I work with sellers, and I work with more of an independent property than a condo, and anything to do with people who are not in the city and who wants a real, kind of solution from A to Z, kind of a solution when it comes to selling their property. That's where I'm good at.
Yeah, and you are really good at it as well. And I think it's really impressive that you can be able to position yourself as a exclusive seller's agent in a market where, in the US we have, these, exclusive listing agreements where, a seller has to list with one agent. I believe that is not the case in India. So the fact that your entire business is built off of, working with seller clients is extremely impressive. So I really do think you're really humble. When we first had a conversation, you said you were not a market leader in India. I disagree with that. I think you definitely are a market leader in India. But that kind of leads me to, like the next question, which is, essentially, the brand that you're with, and how has that helped you? And what are some of the challenges essentially of running your own real estate office as well? Because I mean, obviously, with more business and with more of a structured business comes a little bit more challenges as well. It's not all sunshines and rainbows, right? It's a little bit more business, but there are challenges. So what are some of the challenges of running a larger brand, and how has that helped you even with the challenges as well?
Sure. So, good thing happened to me was associating with this kind of a brand. So, as I said earlier, as a standalone agent, you don't have much of overheads, right? So, your office is your car and your phone, right? So, on the move, wherever you are, you can do business. So, real estate is not a rocket science. But then again, as I said, you after some time, when the desire is for you to grow, and when you cannot do it everything on your own, then you will have to definitely form a team. And this is something which really challenging in India because an ABC brand cannot establish itself, or see, it cannot attract a resource. It cannot attract a talented resource to work with you, right? So I can open my own brand like Balaji Badrinath, and open up an office and ask agents to join me. So why would they join me? So there has to be a legacy. There has to be a kind of a brand power, and hence the brand. That's point number one. Point number two is it's extremely challenging to operate in a country like India, especially in a city like Bangalore, um, where people don't care when it comes to professionalism and organized fashion. Uh, Not in all the sectors, but especially in real estate. You have thousands of agents, but very few handful of brands, right? So that clearly shows that it's anybody and everybody can enter, because entry is so easy in this business. Exit is even more easy in this business. So there's absolutely no issues for any agent to work on his own, and not to get attached to a brand. So it's been an extremely challenging to work on operate on a brand like Coldwell Banker here, because the brand strength, what, not only Coldwell Banker, for any other brand who's predominantly into the franchise model, is to attract more agents to work with you, right? That's where it was there in my mind when I signed up this. Okay, let's have an office, let's build a support team, let's have agents partnering with you, and let's crack deals every day. As you rightly said, there are no sunshines and butterflies every day. So this is something which I faced, because I was left alone after taking this brand. So there was nobody would join me, because I was not able to convince them, why should they join me? It's not only Coldwell Banker. Coldwell Banker only gives you a door entry. So after that, everything needs to be done by you, right? So all the marketing, all the stuff, all the selling, all the lead generations, all the convincing, all the closures, everything needs to be done by you. So why would an agent join and do this and then also pay a royalty on top of it? So it has taken quite a lot of time for me to really establish this in this market, plus the overheads, plus the building up of the support team. And today, I would say that it's one of the best decisions I've made, because the kind of the scaling and the kind of branching out which we have done with partnering with partners, and people have joined us, joined our brand, and then I operate the way exactly what an American franchise unit will operate. The same way, the support, the agents partnering with you, and things like that. The same way my office is doing it now, and today we are reaping those benefits, right? So as I said, today we have to say no to tons of leads. So all our partners, including me, we're all very happy the way the lead gen is happening, and the lead gen is happening in such a way that, as I rightly said, we are satisfying the searchers' intent, and people are exactly calling us what we are looking for. And in that mode, I think I'm able to satisfy my partners. And there had been challenge. There is a challenge, but even then, we are able to do it.
Wow, that's really impressive that you kind of were able to pick that up, by yourself and actually build a successful team. Because and I do understand, because when it comes to real estate in India, I believe there's no requirements, right? Like you said, everybody can just be an individual agent. You have to give them a very compelling reason to actually join with your company. when they can actually just go out there, make 100% of their commissions and do it by themselves. Where it's, for those listening in the US, it's a lot different than, what we have here, where you have to be with a brand or another company as a real estate agent. So, if you have to figure out, if you have to say one thing that makes you and your company, the prime place for other agents to work with, what would that be? What is the one thing that you were able to provide them that other companies are not able, and you have been very successful at attracting other agents to work with you?
So I would always say this, Kobe, that play to your strength. So this I have figured out. See, the brand's strength. One needs to understand. See, the brand will merely provide you a label. After that, as I said, you need to do everything yourself. So what is the strength of that particular label? So what is your strength? What is the strength of that particular brand? So that's going to be our play. That's going to be our game. So I think today we have mastered that art of playing to our strength, and that's one of the primary reasons where I'm able to attract more and more agents to come and inquire and join and work for the brand and work for themselves. Because the strength is to be a seller's agent. The strength is like the global non-resident Indians believe in the brand. The global audiences watch out for what we are trying to say, what we are trying to do, and the success stories, what we have sold, and what are the listings we have. That clearly shows, as a agency, how strong you are in your neighborhood market. So I think the unique thing is, we are playing to our strength, and that strength is, again derived from, our individual personalities, and again, the clients believe on our strength, and those who don't believe, we don't. We generally don't push them to hire us, and I think that's the unique thing. And the most, I would say, the most very critical factor is that once you have the strength and once you push your capabilities, then have patience, because real estate is one industry where if you don't have patience, you cannot succeed. When the deals happens, when the transaction takes place, when the offer comes in, when the offer gets accepted, you must have patience. You should not be the first person to kick the bucket, right? So you should not be the first person to fire fire a client and then regret later. So this is something which I've learned over the period of time. So I think this is something which the brand allows you to know what is your strength, and the brand strength you'll be implementing back in the market. And then, of course, pushing your capability is left to you. If you need to work on your fullest potential, and then have patience. And not only us, the clients also should have patience and trust and be with you, right? So then only it can happen. And this will happen. This is happening because the clients trust the brand, and the brands allow you to have this kind of a breathing time, this kind of a patience level, so that when things happen, you are there in the picture. And how this can happen? This can happen only by way of delivering what is by delivering what is what the standard agents deliver in the market over and beyond, like doing videos, getting the home video tour done, getting a staging or an open house, and printing their properties on your magazines, circulating newsletters, do extraordinary stuff, so that the seller knows that yes, you guys have been putting your blood and sweat. Now even then, if it's not selling, let's wait. And that's the key thing. He believes you, he waits on you, and then you wait for the ideal buyer to come. Bingo, you do the deal. And that's how we are very unique in the market, where other agents, I felt more and more the world is becoming restless and impatient. And especially when it comes to real estate, people expect everything to happen very quick. It doesn't happen like that. So that's where our brokerage firm is very, very unique, and we are consistently following this mantra. And I think that's one of the clients who have gone back. They come back to us after 6 months or a year, saying that, "Can you help us now? We have changed our approach, and now we are aligning with your approach. Let's do this." So that's how we are able to show our uniqueness in the market.
Yeah, That's really impressive. Again, Balaji, I think what you have been able to do as positioning yourself, you've done something, and I don't know if you know this because I mean you've been to the States and you've connected with a lot of agents here, but I don't know if you know this, but you've done something where a lot of agents, and even in the United States, with much more favorable conditions when it comes to becoming a seller's agent, have not been able to do and are chasing every single day, and that's become exclusive sellers agents and run a team of agents where you're only working with sellers and you're doing it in a condition where I can really say it's going to be a lot worse for, in terms of just the regulations and, what people have to actually go through in signing a listing agreement in a market like that. So I think a lot of agents, even in the U.S., can learn from you and some of the practices that you're promoting and some of the practices that you're using as well. Because when you plop them into a worse condition, I promise you they'll start complaining. They're not grateful for what they already have. But just to kind of finish off here, and I want to be respectful of your time. I know you're a super busy guy, so looking forward into the future, what's next for you? What's next for your company? And what are some of the new challenges that you guys are looking to take on and conquer next?
So yeah, so I really thank you for. I don't know whether it's all. I need to truly be more consistent in terms of whatever I'm doing right now, and also improvise things on. I've sold a $4.5 million home, and that got featured in our the Home of the Week magazine back in States on a luxury segment. So this is something which I wanted to do in the future on a regular basis. So not only selling one or two $5 million homes, but on every quarterly basis, not a monthly basis, but every quarterly basis, because the city is exploding, as I said, and more and more buyers are in the luxury segment. And I want to do justice on the luxury segment, and I want to be the man on the luxury segment. So I want to establish myself. I want to establish my brokerage firm as the go-to center when it comes to the premium and luxury segment of real estate in Bangalore. And I want to also establish the same thing in the other areas, like, I don't know about, have you heard about this city called Mysore, which is hardly about 200 kilometers from Bangalore, which is a heritage city. We have a lot of palaces, castles, and things like that. So we want to establish in niche cities like this, and we want to branch out, and we want to hire more like-minded agents in the market, and especially empower them with all the standalone agents. Empower them with what a professionalism can get you, and necessarily not mean that they should join a brand like us, but they can establish themselves in the market in a more professional way, and rise the bar when it comes to delivery of the experience, and bring that world-class working atmosphere. I think everybody wins in this market. So my future objective is to do something on the premium and luxury segment where we are market leaders in the city, and establish ourselves in other areas, and then empower all the standalone agents as giving back to this industry.
Wow, that's super impressive. And I'm definitely going to be asking you for a little bit more information on that other city you mentioned with all the castles and palaces. I want to, learn more about that. So after our call here, but for those of you who are listening right now, Balaji, for those who are listening, so how can they reach out to you if they have, questions for you, or if they have real estate in India that they want to work with somebody? What is the best way for them to reach out to you to work with you?
So, Kobe, they can reach out to me through my Facebook. They can just search, my name is something unique. It's Balaji Badrinath. And just search for me in Facebook. Probably I can send you the link. You can put across this to your audience, and they can reach out to me through my email. They can write an email to me, balaji.b@coldwellbanker.in. I'll repeat, balaji.b@coldwellbanker.in. They can write an email to me. They can also get connected through me through various other social media handles like Instagram, LinkedIn. I'm available everywhere.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I'll make sure to leave your information in the show notes below so that anybody who was looking to work with an exceptional agent like yourself are able to do so. But I just want to thank you again, Balaji, for being a guest on the show today. I know you're super busy with a lot, a lot that you're dealing with right now, a lot of business. So, thank you for your time, and good luck for the future and the expansion as well. I'm really excited for that. I think you can do a lot of good in the real estate market in India. And for those of you who are listening today, thank you for tuning in, and I will see you guys next week. Take care, guys.